Let us welcome on stage Colin Stewart, Special Representative and Head of the United Nations Peacekeeping Force in Cyprus, and Deputy Special Advisor of the Secretary for his keynote speech. Mr. Stewart is joining this year's Cyprus Forum to stress the paramount importance of building new ties between the sides and strengthening existing ones, which is an essential step in reinvigorating the prospects of a settlement. Is Mr. Stewart ready? Hello. Good morning.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Good morning. Is my microphone working okay? Okay. I'd like to start by thanking the organizers of this event, Nicholas and his team, for the opportunity to be here this morning. Having an inclusive and multi-stakeholder venue for dialogue on island-wide public policy issues is an excellent initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, it will come as no surprise to you when I say that there is currently a political impasse with regard to the Cyprus problem. The positions of the two sides are indeed far apart. They cannot even agree on what settlement talks would be about, let alone the conditions for coming back to the table. I do not think this impasse is necessarily insurmountable in the medium term, but realistically I don't see much prospect of talks before the coming elections on the island and in the region over the next year. And after those elections, we may find ourselves in a new context, for better or worse. It is impossible at this point to predict. While there may be dim prospects of talks anytime soon, there is something much more fundamental at stake in this moment. I am extremely concerned that the option of a mutually agreeable settlement of the conflict, in other words, a formula for reunifying the island acceptable to both parties, is fading and will not be available much longer. The separation of the island is growing, and the integration of the North, economically and politically, with Turkey is accelerating due to the very difficult economic situation on that side of the island. As I am sure you can appreciate, greater dependence of the North on Turkey, especially economic, necessarily means less interdependence between the two sides of the island. And interdependence is the glue that can hold the island together. If present trends continue, the idea of a mutually agreeable settlement will soon become unviable. So we're running out of time and cannot afford to simply wait until the next time the two sides are ready to talk. The economic stress in the north and growing economic divide between the two sides of the island also breeds resentment and lack of trust between them. I hear from many Turkish Cypriots that they are unhappy about the current trend, but see no alternative. Providing a north-south alternative would be a major step, perhaps the most crucial step, towards reviving the hope for a comprehensive settlement. Finally, the economic disparity between the two sides of the island creates all kinds of adjustment challenges which make agreement on a settlement even more challenging. And in the meantime, it spurs trafficking of all sorts across the buffer zone, which is a serious problem for both sides. For all these reasons, the dire economic situation in the north is undermining the prospects for a settlement. It is not, as some people continue to believe, helping move the north towards a settlement. I believe a majority of Cypriots want the division of the island to end, but they are losing hope. And when populations no longer have any enthusiasm for a settlement, it is hard to imagine political leaders forging an agreement on their own initiative. This is why it is so crucial and urgent to rebuild ties between the two sides through active, regular interactions across all segments of society and all sectors of the economy. If there is to be any hope of an eventual settlement, Cypriots need to learn to live together on the island again. In this regard, any interaction, even while shopping, is better than no interaction. When people interact, myths and walls crumble. Misperceptions and taboos fall by the wayside. Greater understanding of each other is the foundation for building trust. And without trust, there can never be a sustainable solution. Many Cypriots tell me that there is no problem between Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots. The problem is at the political level. Well, that may be true, but democracy is never perfect, of course, but elected officials cannot be impervious to the wishes of their constituents, especially if those wishes are strongly felt. Nothing brings people together more quickly and more strongly than economic interest. Expanding trade and business links and ensuring the infrastructure to support them is the surest way to rehabilitating confidence in a settlement. Integrating the island in practice paves way for a political solution. For these reasons, I am working intensively with the lead representatives of the two leaders to complete a wide range of joint initiatives that will not only benefit Cypriots across the island, but will also lay an important path towards settlement talks. In terms of economic initiatives, we are working to expand trade through the Green Line regulation, remove obstacles to cross-border banking, address insurance problems, and ease congestion at the crossing points. Although protectionist voices are often the loudest, there is immediate mutual benefit in increasing trade. Both Greek Cypriot and Turkish Cypriot shoppers find certain goods cheaper or more attractive on the other side. Aside from the formal proposals made by the two sides, we are exploring the possibility of common ground on addressing the migration problem, which is affecting both sides of the island, and looking at the possible development of a photovoltaic park in the buffer zone for the benefit of both communities at a time of increasing energy prices. We are jointly addressing environmental issues on the island, issues which know no boundaries, even if the dividing line on the island is known as the Green Line. And we continue to support grassroots bicommunal activities centered on women and youth. And we are actually making some notable progress. At the current pace, official trade across the Green Line will double by the end of the year, including the first processed non-animal food products such as olive oil, tahini, and carob syrup. The crossing points are starting to become more efficient and less of an obstacle. On their own initiative, the trade unions from the two sides have matched the need for labor in the south with available workers from the north, providing income for some 500 families so far. And there have been successes in a wide range of areas, from health to culture, from policing to waste management. Sports has a lot of potential, and you'll be hearing more about that later in the program. Many of these areas of achievement in recent months have come through the technical committees established by the leaders of the two sides. And they are working on more than 20 other initiatives as we speak. However, there are people from both sides, as a matter of fact, who worry that these committees are simply entrenching or normalizing the status quo. On the contrary, these committees are building a foundation of bicommunal achievement that will lay the groundwork for future settlement talks. The technical committees and confidence-building measures are neither a substitute for settlement talks nor a distraction from such talks. They are the path towards talks. Each of these initiatives will have a positive impact on the lives of Cypriots on both sides of the island. But more importantly still, each initiative will bring a little bit of positive experience, create a small amount of goodwill, and so, brick by brick, lay the path towards a mutually agreeable settlement of the Cyprus problem. But we do not have much time. Thank you very much.